Welcome back to Sissy Maya. Make sure to subscribe to our channel to never miss an update. Additionally, consider subscribing to my Patreon to get access to these features, and much more.
I'll admit it, I'd been teasing my sister Julie all week. Sometimes she just drives me crazy. With her endless pots, potions, and lotions, it gets under my skin. I mean, she's already naturally gorgeous, which is what really gets to me. She spends so much time trying to improve on perfection. She's a year older, but I'll be 16 soon. Honestly, Julie could go without makeup and still have guys falling all over her. And people say we look alike, which bugs me too. Does she resemble me, or do I resemble her? Meanwhile, Mom and Dad were in a constant argument, and it mostly revolved around Mom. She was a cheerleader in college, so it's no surprise she's beautiful. Last Sunday, when we went out to dinner, Dad was griping about her making us late. They were still at it over breakfast on Monday. Just one glance at Mom told me she was done with it. It wasn't just her words but the way she expressed them. When I got home from school on Tuesday, Mom surprised me with a gift. I loved rock and roll, especially the classics from the 70s, and she found a whole bag of tapes at a garage sale. I remembered how much you like Culture Club, she said, so I grabbed 2 of their tapes and put them on top. Just work your way down the stack. I think you'll enjoy them. Wow. Thanks, Mom. This is awesome, I said, taking the tapes to my room. I always played music while studying, so I slipped the first tape into the player and got to work on my homework. I probably dozed off by the time the first side ended, but I woke up to Mom calling me for dinner. She and Dad were listening to one of the tapes too, probably the Moody Blues, given that distinct flute sound. Dinner was the usual small talk. Jack, would it hurt you to take a little care of that mop? You haven't washed it since last Friday, Mom remarked. All right, I'll wash it. We all managed to be civil, chatting about our days as the new tapes played on. After dinner, I returned to my room to finish my homework and started the second tape. This music was fantastic, and according to Mom, nearly free. I promised myself I wouldn't miss any of the 15 tapes she'd found. She had another 15 set aside for her and Dad as well. I took a shower in the adjoining bathroom, using Julie's conditioner. When I blew my hair dry, it looked better, but something still felt off. I grabbed my brush and backcombed it a bit for volume, then tied it back into a ponytail. That looks better, I thought. But then it hit me, why did I even do that? Because it looks nicer, I guess. Okay, fair enough. Suddenly, Mom was gushing about my hair. It did shine and look fuller. Dad seemed to have taken the hint too. His hair, while not long enough for a ponytail, looked nice and full with a blunt cut in the back. I'd never been a fan of big hair, but a little extra body wasn't so bad, especially on him. That night, after the 10 o'clock news, I turned off my little TV and put on the new tapes in a continuous loop. I'd grown used to music while sleeping. Mom had always played the radio for me when I was little. Now that I was nearing 16, I still liked a soothing sound to help me drift off. I played more rock and roll that first night, falling asleep to Jim Croce. The next morning, instead of just grabbing my hair and putting it in a rubber band, I brushed it out, fluffed it a bit, and borrowed one of Julie's black scrunches. Now that's better, I thought, feeling satisfied. As I checked my reflection, I wondered if I should get an earring, maybe 2? That could be cool. What was I thinking? Maybe 2 would work. At breakfast, I noticed some blemishes on Dad's face. Oh, yes. Thanks for pointing that out, Jack. I decided to use some of your mom's stuff on them. Do they look okay? Yeah, Dad, nice. You look a bit younger. I had never cared much about looking good. Guys usually did the bare minimum. But then Mom commented on my hair. Jack, it looks fantastic. What did you do? Just added some body, Mom. Does it really look good? Definitely an improvement, son. Keep it up. I suppose it doesn't take long. Takes about 20 seconds to do. Okay. At school that day, a couple of girls complimented my hair. To my surprise, I liked the compliments. How strange. And getting praised for my hair was even stranger, but beggars can't be choosers. Other than that, Thursday played out much like Wednesday, right through dinner and afterwards. We didn't watch much TV, opting instead to listen to the rock and roll tapes again, which I also played overnight. I woke up feeling well rested and almost ambitious. While doing my hair, I may have gone a little overboard with the backcombing and spritzed in some of Julie's lanolin spray. Wow, this looks good, I thought, smiling at my reflection. I tied my hair a bit higher than the day before with a red scrunchie and headed downstairs for breakfast. Dad must have been really sleepy that morning because he was wearing Mom's slippers, not her flat ones, but a pair with a 2-inch wedge heel. Dad, I said, you might want to change your shoes before you head to work. Oh, for heaven's sake. Yes, these wouldn't do at all, he chuckled, but I kind of like the little heel, Jack. They're a bit small, but maybe you would too. I'm not so sure about that, Dad, but if it feels good, go for it. Later that night, when Dad changed for bed, he came back into the kitchen wearing a different pair of slippers, definitely women's, with an even higher wedge heel. His toes were painted a soft pink, and he wore what looked like nylon pajamas. The sight sent a chill down my spine, but I kept my comments to myself, only saying, "Nice slippers, Dad." "Thanks, son. I picked them up on the way home. Your mom did my nails. Like the color?" Yeah, Dad, sure, if you like it." "Yes, it's a nice shade. Thanks." What was going on with Dad all of a sudden? But I reminded myself I wasn't raised to be judgmental. In fact, we were taught to be very tolerant of others. What was it to me anyway? Besides, he did look good in those slippers. That night, I brushed my hair out and tied it up at the crown with a violet scrunchie. It swished around cutely like that. I looked in the mirror and decided I would definitely look great with an earring, maybe even 2. Yes, I wanted TWO. I wondered if Julie would let me borrow some of her pretty dangly earrings. "Jack, what on earth are you thinking? That I'd look cute with longer hair and nice earrings? What's your problem, Jack? Dad has fluffy hair, painted nails, and pretty slippers, and for all I know, those pajamas are women's too. Don't you want to keep UP?" I wasn't so sure. On one hand, I had a real dilemma with this, but on the other, I thought it would be fun to paint my toes too. Those slippers really were attractive, even on Dad. It was over the weekend that I got into a bit of trouble. Not serious trouble, but Julie has this habit of leaving her lingerie hanging over the shower rod. When I took my shower on Saturday morning, I had to take them down. She has good taste in lingerie. I really liked that pair of pale blue panties with wide lace at the top. After I shaved my legs and underarms and got out of the shower, I couldn't resist trying them on. What are sisters for, anyway? Oh, I like this feeling. These are great. Whoa, Jack, you just shaved your legs and underarms, and you're getting off on wearing your sister's satin panties. So, I think they're pretty. Sue me. Just then, Julie walked into the bathroom. She must have known I was done because the water had long stopped running. "Well, Jack, those look really cute on you. Do you like them?" I'm sorry, Julie. I didn't mean." "Oh, don't be silly, Jackie. I don't mind if you want to get with the program. Panties are way nicer than those boring briefs you wear. Would you like a few pairs until you can get some of your own? You don't mind?" "I think I love them. Why should I? We're siblings, aren't we?" "Well, yeah, but..." "Then it's settled. I'll get you some." Julie returned to my room with 5 more pairs of pretty panties in different shades and styles. I thanked her with a hug and a kiss. "Emmy, kiss my sister. What is this world coming to?" She also brought me other items like a nightie, mules like Dad's, some flats, a bra, and a shirtwaist dress, and just put them into my closet. This was all so strange. I kind of zoned out and didn't even complain. If I thought that was strange, I hadn't seen Dad yet. He came to breakfast on Saturday morning wearing a pair of Mom's shorts, his new stylish slippers, and his nails done in a rounded shape like Mom and Julie's, topped with shiny clear polish. His legs were bare, cleanly shaven, and not bad to look at. His hair was fluffy and reminiscent of Mom's. My first thought was, where did he hide the jewels? Those shorts were tight. Then I thought, darn, Dad actually looks kind of nice in Mom's shorts. His hair and nails looked good too. I couldn't believe how nice his legs looked. Good grooming must be contagious around here. I figured I could get with the program like Julie said. I went back to Julie's room, borrowed an emery board, and grabbed some pearlized pink polish and clear polish. Then I proceeded to do my nails to match Dad's and the girls'. Once they dried, I looked at myself in the mirror and ran my hand over my butt. Darn, you've got a nice one there, Jack. A little lumpy in front, but I wasn't going back to cotton after feeling how nice nylon was, no way. I wondered if Dad had discovered how nice panties were. I had to get some satiny ones next time I went shopping. I slipped on the slippers Julie had lent me to match Dad's and went back into the family room. Way to go, bro, said Julie. Like them? Yes. Nice job on the nails too. On Saturday, we lounged by the pool after the grass was cut, listening to some Eric Clapton and Janis Joplin. I felt very mellow. Dad wore a tight Speedo, or at least something that looked like one, and the question of where he kept his jewels came to mind again. He was barely showing, but the suit looked good. Son, when did you start shaving your armpits? Dad asked. Oh, just this week, Dad. It just seems cleaner. I think the hair makes them retain odor, don't you? Yes, I do. That's why I'm doing it too. I guess you hadn't noticed. No, I hadn't, but it seems like a good idea. Some of the things the girls do aren't bad ideas, even if they take a few minutes. We had been lying there listening to some Crosby, Stills, and Nash. I had been sunbathing for about an hour, and I wondered if my legs were as pretty as Dad. Looking at my face, I thought my brows looked a bit bushy, so I took Julie's tweezers and thinned them out from the bottom, removing a few stray ones over my nose. The more I thinned them, the better they looked. There. Much cleaner. I bet TV people and movie stars do this all the time. I fixed my ponytail at my crown with a pink scrunchie and went back to the pool. I really liked how it swung back and forth when I tied it like that. Just a few more inches and it would be brushing my neck as it swayed. I always thought a ponytail looked sexy on a girl. I slipped on the borrowed mules again. I liked them, but they made me walk like a girl. As I returned to the pool, Julie noticed my improvements immediately. Wow, Jackie, you do have pretty legs, she teased. Thanks, January. I'm glad you think so. And you did your brows too. That softens your face quite a bit, Jackie. Good job. I like the hair up like that too, but would you please ask next time you want to borrow my hair products? Oh, I'm sorry. Sure. I guess I should get my own anyway. That would be a good idea, bro. Does the bra fit? Yes. Thank you. Well then, the dress should fit too. Hope you like it. It's cute. Thanks. Did I just thank my sister for a dress and say it was cute, implying I would wear it? Yeah, I guess I did. Wow. It is cute, though. That evening, since I didn't have a date, my nerdy friend Brandon and I went to the mall. I really didn't intend to, but I led Brandon into JCPenney, where I bought 6 pairs of lovely panties and a mid-calf length nightie with a fitted bodice in mint green. It was gorgeous. Brandon looked a bit stunned. Jack, are those for your mom or Julie? Neither, Bran. Who then? Me, of course. And while we're at it, I want to get my ears pierced. Do you mind? No, Jack, I don't mind, except I never knew you liked girls' stuff before. I wouldn't tell anyone else, but I kind of do too. I'm just afraid to do anything about it. I'm proud of you, Jackie. Well, that's a relief, Bran. I was afraid you'd bail on me. Let's go get me some pretty studs. Wow. I can't believe the conversation I just had with Brandon. I also can't believe I bought myself a slinky nightgown right in front of him. I hope it feels as good as it did in the store. We headed to the piercing booth, where I got some plain gold studs. I also picked up some cubic zirconia for after they healed, but for now, I didn't know how much I could get away with at school. I still had a few weeks until summer vacation. We also stopped by the dollar store for some hair care items. I grabbed scrunches and pins, a few ribbons, a silk decoration that clips in when I wore my hair up, a comb for French braids, and one of those hair-dini tools. Throughout all of this, Brandon kept talking about how jealous he was, but I didn't see him doing anything about it, just like he said. I really don't know what came over me, but I found myself in the Payless shoe store, browsing through the women's section. Julie had tucked a pair or two of pantyhose into my sock drawer, and I was wearing a pair. Brandon was practically bouncing off the walls as I tried on cute girls' shoes. I finally decided on a pair of black flats and loafers with a slight heel, about 2.5 inches. They were adorable, and I thought I could probably get away with wearing them to school. Why did I want to wear girls' shoes? Why was I in panties and pantyhose? Because it felt right, I guess. I wore the loafers home. As I paid, the cashier made a comment, asking, "Would you like a purse to go with those, miss?" Part of me wanted to snap at him, but another part thought it was sweet. So, I grabbed a neat black shoulder bag from the display and added it to my purchase with a smile. With my hair done and the earrings in, I felt like a different person. The shoes were easy to get used to and made my feet look smaller. They also made me as tall as Brandon, who isn't very tall either. I absolutely loved the flats, they were sexy yet demure. The real surprise came when I got home around 9. Mom and Dad were sitting on the couch, watching TV in matching lounging outfits. They both wore peignoir sets and mid-heeled mules. I was pretty sure Dad had panties on underneath. He looked like he had applied a little blush and light lipstick, and the top of his gown was pushed out just right. Suddenly, I couldn't contain myself. I blurted out, "Daddy, you look wonderful. Just wonderful. That looks great on you. Is that all Mom's stuff?" "No, your mom and I went shopping too, though not locally. I see you did some shopping as well, and those are cute shoes. Planning to wear those to school?" "Yes. And you got your ears pierced. Good for you. We were wondering when you'd do that. Now you and Julie can share earrings. What else did you buy?" "Just some panties, a nightie, and the shoes. Oh, and these cute flats. Want to see?" "Yes, honey, model for us," Mom replied. I showed them the flats, and they made all the right noises of approval. "Okay, I'll go change." It took me a few minutes, but I slipped into my new nightie and the padded bra Julie had lent me, put on my new flats, and let my hair down, brushing it out into its natural waves. It hung past my shoulders and was very shiny. If Dad could wear lipstick, so could I. I decided to use a bit of Julie's plum rose. She'd probably have a fit, but I could always get my own later. Thankfully, she was out on a date. I thought I looked cute, definitely girlish but cute. "Oh, Jackie, you look darling. Don't you think so, Lou? You really have potential, son," Dad said. "I think you could be almost as pretty as your sister, don't you, Eleanor?" "I do, Lou. And you look awfully cute yourself. You both should embrace this clean new look and let it grow on you. I'm sure you'll come to love all these soft, pretty things you're trying out." "Mom, that's exactly what scares me to death. I don't understand myself at all. If Dad and I aren't careful, he could lose his job, and I could end up in the hospital. Well, then we need to keep your self-improvement program mostly at home for a while, don't you think? At least for the more noticeable things like makeup." "Yes, honey," Dad agreed. "That makes sense. We can enjoy these nice things at home and be our old, dumpy selves at work and school, okay, Jackie?" "Sure, Daddy. Whatever you two think is best." I fell asleep to the soothing sounds of Santana that night. I'd never slept in a nightgown before, and I'd never experienced the sensation of it swishing around my shaved legs, but I have to admit I loved it all. I also loved how the blush and lipstick enhanced my look, especially with my hair down. The fact that both my ears were pierced was something I could handle. But when I looked in the mirror, I saw a different version of Julie. The next morning, Julie caught me stumbling into walls, half asleep in my new nightie, still wearing my makeup. She looked a little surprised but said, "Well, Jackie, you look very comfortable. How do the mules fit?" "Almost perfect, January. Thanks. I think I'll get myself a pair. I like them, and Daddy seems to love his too. I hope you don't mind me borrowing your polish and makeup." "No, not really, hun, but you should be careful when borrowing makeup. What you took is smudge-proof. Your lips will probably be stained until tomorrow." "Oh well, I'll make the best of it. Thanks for the tip." On Sunday, we all went to church at 10 a.m. Daddy and I wore our panties and hose, and I styled my hair just a bit. I mean, it was Sunday, and we were going to church. I didn't think I looked too feminine, even with my pink lips. Neither did Dad, but judging by the occasional stares I received, I might have been wrong. Monday morning rolled around, and we all went through our usual routine, with a few minor adjustments. I couldn't take out the studs, but I didn't tease my hair much either, and I removed the polish from my hands, just putting on a coat of hardener to keep them from breaking. Of course, I couldn't hide the shape of my nails. A few people noticed the earrings, but only a couple of girls pointed them out. None of the guys did. A few girls did notice my new shoes, though, and told me how much they liked them on me. Barbara wanted to try them on, so I let her, and they fit her perfectly. Carol noticed my pantyhose and winked at me, saying, "Jackie, you shouldn't go barefoot. Put on Barbara's Mary Janes while she has yours on." "Oh, Carol, I couldn't. They're really cute, but I just can't." "What if she doesn't want to trade back?" She just smiled back. I did want to try on those Mary Janes, though. Maybe I had a friend. The girls did seem friendlier, and I spent a bit more time with them on Monday. I was a slight kid, often seen as non-threatening in girl talk, so nobody had any issues with me. A couple of girls even commented on my eyebrows, saying I looked sweet. I told one of them, "Thanks, Laurie. I'm trying to clean up my act and dress nicer, take care of myself a bit." "Do you really like the look?" "Yes, Jack. I think it works for you. You're starting to resemble your sister, though. Don't stop until you've completed your look. You need to find what works for you. The high heels are a nice touch, but the Mary Janes would look cute too." "Gee, they're not too high, are they?" "Just right, hun, you're still only about 5 feet 8 inches with them on. You should get more cute shoes and wear them. You'll be fine." If only they knew how sweet I was becoming, for reasons I couldn't quite understand. Tuesday night, Dad came home and changed into a pair of short shorts, a blouse, and a bra, along with a pair of skimmer flats that looked a lot like mine. Wow, he was really starting to look cute since he began caring for himself and embracing his feminine side. "You look nice, Daddy." "Thanks, Jackie. I feel great." I noticed he had also plucked his brows and seemed to be wearing a bit of mascara, along with his lipstick and blush. He could almost pass for as foxy as Mom. Wow. I was actually thinking of my dad all dressed up in women's clothing, dresses, high heels, and all. Am I nuts? But honestly, he would look major cute. Wednesday turned into Thursday, then Friday, and the weekend was upon us again. Throughout it all, we enjoyed Mom's music gift. I just loved these tunes and had played all 15 tapes over 3 times, even on continuous loop overnight. After doing my chores, I cleaned up, put on fresh panties, and styled my hair. By the time everyone was ready for our joint shopping trip, I had shaved my legs and pits, done my nails, and fixed my hair. We started at a discount department store, the really big one with 1,100 outlets, and picked up a lot of things. What were we shopping for, the 4 of us? Soft, pretty things that made us feel good or look good, of course. Julie helped me with my makeup purchases while Mom assisted Dad. We all got some underwear, including a couple of teddies, slips, bras, skirts, blouses, hose, and a couple of gowns. Then Dad and I slipped into the men's room and put on our thigh-high hose before heading to the shoe department. We picked up slippers, flats, Oxfords, and some other shoes that could sort of pass for boys. I also snagged a pair of those cute Mary Janes, plus some pretty heels. Of course, we tried them all on when we thought no one was looking. I got such a rush trying on my first pair of high heels. They were black patent with at least a 3-inch heel. They were so sexy. I got very excited, obviously so. "Jackie," my mother cautioned. "Just look at you in your tight panties." "I'm sorry, Mom. I can't help it." "Well, if that's how you're going to react, maybe we should get you something to calm you down, both of you. I'll see about that next week." "I swear, I can't take you two anywhere," she teased with a big grin. "Oh, cut that out, Mom," I shot back. "We'll be fine as soon as we get used to feeling this way about pretty things." When we got home, we had a full fashion show, and Mom talked Dad into getting his ears pierced before we arrived. Would you believe it? Mom took Dad by the hand while Julie took me, and we all got decked out to the maximum. Julie was very patient, showing me all about makeup, and she was really sweet about it. I was so glad I hadn't started shaving yet. My complexion looked good after I covered a couple of zits. Julie rolled my hair for me, putting me under the dryer. I changed into my new underwear, hose, heels, and my new 34B bra with some falsies, along with one of her casual party dresses. She did my nails in a rose creme to match my lipstick. "Go look at yourself, Jacqueline darling," she said. "Jacqueline? You are far too foxy, sister mine, to be a Jack. Go look." I was stunned. She was right. Mom was right. I could be a major fox if I took the time to dress and do my makeup like a girl. But then I realized, Julie, this all took 2 hours. Well, little sister, now you're getting the point. Pretty comes at a price. It takes time, effort, know-how, a little talent, and of course, your prettiest things. I don't know about all this, January. What's going on with Daddy too all of a sudden? He's acting awfully girly lately. It's not just the clothing. Am I doing that too? Want the truth or not? Truth. Of course you are, Jackie. How could you not? You're both going to become more and more feminine to the point where you can't pass as boys at all. Isn't that what you wanted? There was a long, pregnant pause as I absorbed what I had just heard. Oh, Jan. Yes, that is exactly what I want. What's happening to Daddy and me? Why don't you ask your father? Louise should be ready by now too. Let's adjourn to the family room, little sister. I walked as gracefully as I could in 3-inch heels, wiggling my butt just like Mom and Julie. I knew I looked darling, but how would Daddy look? And how would I react to seeing my father all decked out as a woman? Why did we want to do this? Why did we crave all these feminine things? Why were they sexually stimulating to us? Oh, Daddy, you look adorable, I cried. You are one foxy lady. Thank you, sweetheart. You are just as pretty as your sister. I knew you could do it. Not without Julie's help, but just look at me. It took 2 hours, but I feel wonderful. So do I, Jackie. So do I, she said. My father was gone, replaced by this lovely mid-30ish woman. Except for her voice, I would never know she was my daddy. And she acted so feminine, just perfect, I thought. And Jan said I was acting perfectly feminine too. Oh boy. No wonder I was so well received by the girls. Daddy. Call me Louise, honey. Really? Yes. It's a little more than ridiculous to call me daddy when I look and feel like this. Well, do you have any idea how we got to be like this? No, Jackie, but I'm really afraid it wouldn't help even if we did know. Why not just try to forget about that and go with the flow? I'll try, dear Louise. We lounged around another hour or so, if you can call a mutual admiration society lounging. I got in a lot of practice in my black pumps. I loved to hear the tap on the tile floor, and I was getting comfortable with the whole picture of myself as a girl. I loved all these pretty things, and Julie loaned me a pair of her long dangle earrings too, as did Mom with Louise. My hair looked great in soft waves falling about my innocent face. We could be 4 good-looking babes. Well, after that night, Daddy and I, that's Louise and Jackie, never looked back. We did our best to pretend to be Louie and Jack at work and school, but I could feel that it was a losing battle. Daddy was acting more and more like a woman, and he never wore anything masculine around the house anymore and as little masculine clothing as possible to work. I actually tried to fight this overwhelming feeling, but in the end, it was no use at all. Mom did get us something to calm us down. It was some purple pills she had us take. We began with 1 a day, then 2, then 3, then 4 over a period of 4 weeks, then stayed at 4 a day. Finals were long gone. It was coming up on the 4th of July. Strange things were happening to my body and mind, and I'm not sure I was that much more calm, and I was beginning to be upset with not wearing a top with my bathing suit. Jan, why is my chest sore and hard underneath? Don't you know, Jackie? Gimme a break, sis. If I knew, why would I ask? Oh, all right. Your milk glands are developing is all. Nothing to worry about, but by the end of summer, you'll have to wear a girl's swimsuit. You are growing a nice set of hooters, sis. Is the other stuff shrinking yet? How did you know about that? Just a guess. It is then? Yes. Good. Then your new titties won't have to fight so hard to come to the surface. My what? Gee, Jacqueline. Didn't you hear me? Hooters. It's not just about clothing. Don't you get it yet? You're turning into a girl. So is Daddy. You have made a few girlfriends at school and they love the new you, I might add. I've talked with them and explained the situation. There's a new girl on the block, sister friend, and she's you. Well, ladies, I fainted dead away. It was a good thing we were in Julie's room and she had thick carpet. I woke up with Julie kneeling over me and a washcloth on my forehead with my bangs brushed back. What happened? I suppose you went into shock when you heard you and Daddy were turning into girls. Neither of you ever appreciated what Mom and I go through to be pretty, so now, you do, don't you, Jackie honey? Sitting up, I said, this was some kind of revenge thing, Julie. You and Mom did this to us. Of course, sweetie, but we did you a favor. We wanted you both to understand, and what better way than to become one of us? You're both going to love becoming women. You'll see. You don't act anything like a boy anymore, sweetie. The boys at school must think you are really fruity by now, especially when you try to pass as Jack, so give it up. I'm sure the girls will tell them soon though, so you won't have to worry. You'll just be another chick at high school, and you may as well start going to the summer dances in a skirt and flats. You're going to spend the rest of your lives married to a vanity table just like us. At least you'll never have to shave. Louise will have to have her beard taken out. Mom. I ran screaming in my new feminine voice into the kitchen and almost tore the slim skirt I was wearing. I was in tears, of course, and waving my arms wildly. What's the matter, honey? I sat down sobbing. I think you know very well, Mom. Oh, that. I think we'd better wait for your Aunt Louise to get home and we'll discuss it then if you still want to. And, of course, that was the end of that for the time being. Louise did not want to discuss it. She was having too much fun. Louise and I weren't exactly rocket scientists, but it didn't take a genius to figure out that we were taking female hormones, and our breasts and hips were expanding as expected. My pelvis was actually growing into childbearing proportions. By August, I'd be a solid B cup, and so would Louise, if not more. I just couldn't get enough of that 70s rock and roll. I played it almost every night, and according to Louise, so did she. Hey, I'm not clueless. You can't refer to a fox like Louise as Daddy. It had to be SHE or Aunt Louise from now on. By the end of July, I was comfortably in an honest A+ cup, complete with nice, big brown pointers. While Louise was working her way up to a B, Julie had let me know she talked to the girls, so I didn't even pretend to be Jack anymore, especially around Brandon. He hung out with me all the time, and it boosted our egos. For me to have a boyfriend and for him to have a girlfriend, something he'd never had, was quite a stretch. It was also quite a revelation for me to realize I was checking out cute guys too. Jackie, I confess I can't even remember what you were like as Jack anymore. You're probably the prettiest girl in our class, and we're dating. At least, that's how it looks. I can't believe nobody has recognized you. You and Julie look so much alike now. Yeah, Brandon. I've wondered about that myself. It's really strange. I didn't have the heart to tell him that the whole school probably knew by now and had us clocked dead on. While I was having my difficulties, so was Dad Louise. He had become very feminine, and Mom insisted he wear a waist cincher all the time, giving him a too slender waist under his man's suit. His chest was hard to hide too. He looked quite uncomfortable going to work dressed as Dad. He had electrolysis every Saturday, and his beard was steadily disappearing down to his chin. You might wonder why we didn't just stop taking the pills. We talked about it but came to the same conclusion: whatever mechanism had put us in this position had worked too well. We really didn't want to revert back to being masculine. We both loved how we looked and acted. Mom and Louise were enjoying themselves as girlfriends, and I had never gotten along better with Julie or my girlfriends at school. I loved all my pretty new things and being both pretty and popular. I didn't mind the time it took. Oh, how it took time. Now I understood what a lovely price it came with. I had made new friends. I didn't want to be a boy anymore. We both acknowledged that, by whatever means, we were stuck. We'd just have to see this through to its logical conclusion. No matter what we thought on an intellectual level, we knew we loved what we were becoming and didn't want to stop now, couldn't stop even if we really wanted to, which I didn't believe we did. Louise was becoming an absolutely beautiful and mature woman. She would be fending off guys with a club, and I was facing similar challenges in my age group. A couple of boys at the pool had come right up to me, asking for a date and calling me Jackie. They were serious too. We had truly evolved into a couple of babes, but it was definitely high maintenance, just as Julie had said. It required time. Oh, if we'd just kept our mouths shut. Would men never learn to keep their mouths shut? If this happened to more of them, I bet they would. Finally, push came to shove. Louise and I had some decisions to make. Would she try to keep up appearances as Louis Fenton, or would she fully embrace her new identity? Could I return to Prentice High, or would I need to switch schools to stay safe? There had always been a couple of bullies who liked to pick on Brandon and Jack, and when I showed up on campus, what would happen then? Death by hanging? A lynch mob? Or would the girls protect me? I felt like they would. We returned to school the day after Labor Day. I stepped into the halls as Jacqueline and Fenton, wearing a simple print dress with a scoop neckline and short sleeves, pearl accessories, and my black calf flats. I applied my makeup as prettily as I could, letting my long hair flow in cascading curls around my face. My voice had matured into that of a young woman. I was no longer Jack, hopelessly caught in femininity forever, stuck in this alternative universe. The girls were wonderful. They welcomed me into their circle. I was asked out by 3 boys and accepted one. He was a hunk, and Carol encouraged me to say yes. I did, and that began another chapter in this new life. Daddy Louise was in big trouble too. She couldn't pass as Louis anymore either. Louis might as well be dead, as Louise had completely taken over his identity. She was lovely. She was also a vice president, and her boss, Adam Greenfield, was a nice man, somewhat of a lech, but a nice man. Lou, would you come in here, please? Sure, Adam. What's up? You tell Emmy. Just look at you. If I weren't married, I'd ask you out. Why don't you just let down that hair, put on a skirt suit, some makeup, and some heels, and be done with it? That obvious, huh? You've got to be kidding, Lou. You've been off the deep end since July. My guess is there's quite a figure you're hiding under there. What does your wife think about all this? She's fine with it, Adam, really. She helps me a lot. What are you planning to do? I'm going to recommend that you be transferred across the bay. What do you want to be called? Louise will do. When do you want me to wear my power suit? Tomorrow will be fine, Louise. You're a very poorly kept secret around here. You're so incredibly feminine you put my wife to shame. I'll take that as a compliment. Thanks. You're not really upset, are you? I didn't have much choice in this. I don't quite understand that, but no, it's fine. I have a feeling you'll do even better now that you've embraced this. I always thought you were a bit too good-looking to be a guy, you and Jack. Funny you should mention that, Adam. Jack caught this disease too. He's now our daughter Jacqueline and looks very much like Julie. They're both very pretty. Figures. So, Aunt Louise was transferred, and I went on to become a cheerleader. That's what pretty girls do in high school, right? We both stopped functioning meaningfully as males, and with the support of our families, we applied for gender reassignment. Louise went first during her vacation, and I followed during mine the following summer when I turned 17. I'm sure my boyfriend Jason appreciated that move. He enjoys petting just as much as I love being petted. My parents now live as domestic partners, which is recognized in our state. Mom. Yes, Jackie. Please tell me how you did it. Oh, that again. You never give up, do you? All right, now that you're a girl and understand what it takes for a girl to be with a man, I'll tell you. Music. The tapes. Of course. I told you they were cheap, and for what they were a steal at A&Y price, she giggled. I paid $500 for them. You and your daddy never stood a chance. I got them from a girls' school for boys. All they did was enhance our femininity, but for you too, they gave you femininity in spades. All you wanted to wear were skirts and dresses. Once you played them twice, you were hooked with no way back. You must have played the entire set 12 times in 3 months before you tired of them. All the while, you were reinforcing your desire for more femininity. Now, I have another beautiful daughter and a lovely companion who understands me completely. How good can it get? Brandon loves rock and roll, Mom. Mind if he listens to them? I just know he'll love them as much as I did. I suppose so, honey. He'll be better off for it. Oh, goody, I exclaimed, racing up to my room to get Brandon the gift of a lifetime.